Awesome. So I think I've introduced myself a couple of times here at this conference. So just a quick high-level summary. I am RT based in Vancouver. My network knows me as a change maker. They know me as a change agent. And that's a little bit about my, how my network knows me. I've dedicated my entire career to breaking down barriers and boundaries for underrepresented groups and in STEM and in leadership. And that's why I'm here as part of one of the founding members, along with Mana and Shri, to make a change, to make an impact, to challenge the status quo. And change is taking place, but we need everyone's involvement in order to accelerate change in our industry. Ultimately, what do we want? We want our industry to be more inclusive, and we want to make it a better industry. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and I'm here to basically just answer any questions, help individuals, and break barriers. Outside of that, I'm also on the OAS board, and I was also recently appointed as a board advisor for Observe ID, which is a leader in STEM. And I'm proud to share that both boards have a 50% gender representation on the board. I currently work at BugCrowd, and I've lived in 3 different continents. And outside of work, I enjoy cooking roti. You might see that in my LinkedIn videos. And I also enjoy riding my motorcycle. So that's a little bit about me.
Wonderful. Thanks, Artie. Suri?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Sridevi, as you all know. And I'm so excited to be here with you all today in this unique platform to introduce WiCyS Western Canada with you all. And I would like to convey my sincere thanks to the sponsors, organizers, and all of you joined here. Thus, I'm also one of the founding member, and maybe I can add a little more, as Arati already mentioned about WiCyS, but I just would like to introduce a little more about WiCyS. So before that, about myself, my cybersecurity career started in 2007 with Verizon's corporate cybersecurity. During that time, I don't have any IT security background. It started in 2007. Before that, I started my career with banking environment, and I was just commerce graduate when I joined in a bank as a clerk. But I never stopped there. I was continuously updating my credentials and always focused on learning new things. This helped a lot to grow in my career. Now I have a solid and diversified IT security background from different large organizations. I have created many success stories in cybersecurity. Though cybersecurity is not my background, but that's not a hurdle anymore. Obviously, it was a bumpy ride and a lot of struggle, but it never impossible. I don't want other underrepresented groups, including women, to face these kind of challenges. So, I believe networking and mentoring is very helpful in support each other in this field. I feel it is our responsibility to educate, motivate, and encourage younger generation into cybersecurity. With this background, as one of the founding members to pay it forward, along with a group of dynamic women, have formed a local chapter of WiCyS in March 2021 to champion, educate, inspire, advocate, and build a community of women in this cybersecurity space. Today, I am glad to be here with you along with our board members. Our whole objective is to build a community of women empowering other women by sharing our own experiences. Our vision is to inspire women to use their voice to break barriers and impact the cybersecurity industry. WiCyS Western Canada was established specifically to create a community for all women who work in cybersecurity, who have a desire to work in this space with supporters and allies by encouraging them to participate in our events. WiCy's global core mission of recruiting, retaining, and advancing women in this field of cybersecurity at all levels is accomplished through worldwide volunteer and membership organizations. In fact, due to COVID, we are not able to meet each other, but the positive side of this is that we have a unified goal to make a difference in our industry. Thanks to the technology, I hope you are with me. We learned many lessons due to COVID. Some of the events we had included topics such as finding inner voice, cybersecurity hygiene, breaking barriers, etc. The whole idea is that to encourage and promote women and give you an opportunity. Some areas it could be of interest would be of, for example, speaking at our events, and if you're a new speaker, we can mentor you as you prepare your talk. As a member of WiCyS, we have access to all the resources and opportunities provided by our network, from community groups to career fairs, scholarships to the speaking opportunities, and much, much more. Please check out WiCyS website for all the benefits and see what is waiting for you there. Please feel free to reach us for any kind of support. And you can also visit our virtual booth here. If you use the LinkedIn, Instagram, you can also find us there. I also shared the links in the chat box for your quick reference. Finally, I would like to request and encourage all of you to join us to move the needle in women's underrepresentation in cybersecurity. With this, I would like to wish you all to have a wonderful cybersecurity career. Thank you. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you so much, Suri Devi. That was beautiful. You did a fantastic job. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick introduction bio for myself, and then we'll move into roundtable. So my name is Mana Ing. I am the WiCyS Western Canada Treasurer and Acting Vice President. My day job, so this is my side gig. My day job, I work as a Director of Business Development at a company called Tycans Group, Inc. here in Calgary, Alberta. We are in software implementation of contact center platforms and communications solutions for a variety of industries and companies within Western Canada. So with that, so I'm a 20-year veteran in IT. My career started as a business analyst. That has been my core BA, and it spanned started in software development through to intranet content management, business processes, IT infrastructure, and then finally IT security. And so that's where this whole world of IT security came upon me. And I realized at that point that there was just so much, and that this particular field was growing, the whole field of IT, but specifically IT security. And throughout my career, I've been involved in countless projects through various companies, both in Toronto and in Calgary. I've run a few of them. I've been the project manager at a few of those. So my journey didn't start straight in IT, though. I started in general admin, in service coordination, service marketing for a really small company in Toronto. And I had bigger aspirations. And it was then when I was talking to my brother, who was a software engineer, he mentioned trying out IT. There was no ceiling. There was no glass ceiling. And so it appealed to me in that I could sit behind a desk and program. I was a very shy person and an introvert. And I thought this was going to be great. I can do my thing. I can pen code and sit behind a computer and not have to really interact with anybody. So I thought that was a great fit. So I went back to school. I did an IT diploma program in Toronto, similar to it was ITI. They've closed down since, but it was a 9-month intense program equivalent of a university degree. And within that program, it was programming and business analysis. So there was 2 streams. And at the end of it, I thought I was going to be a programmer. I had no intentions. I didn't even know what business analysis was, but it was a pivotal moment where I was at our grad event, and I met some employers. and I encourage you to attend any of those networking events. I met a couple people at that event, and that was pivotal in my next step. I had applied for a job it was the Bank of Montreal. I applied for a job as a programmer, and this person I met, we had got to talking, and he said, no, I don't think this is the right fit. Why don't you apply for this other job? And it was the business analyst role. And that was pretty much my career for the last 20 years. So I would say that, and then in my last position, so I would say that there are key moments in your career or in my career that have changed the direction of where I've gone. And I would say keep yourself open to various opportunities. So currently, in my role now as a director of business development, it takes all of my years of experience in business analysis, project management, and the various fields in IT that have all culminated together to for me to be able to do what I'm doing. And I just want to share, I was in the last session with Artie, Salima, and Farah, and the comment about imposter syndrome. What that came up was when my boss asked me to be the director of business development. My first answer was no. Totally felt like an imposter. I didn't know what I was doing. But I took a step back, thought about it, and I thought, you know what, this is someone believes in me, for one. And let's see where this goes. I knew I had the support and I could explore, and it would be safe to make mistakes. So with that, that's a little bit about me. I live in Calgary. I'm born and raised, although I lived in Toronto for a few years. And like Artie, I have a puppy. He's 2.5 years old. So you might hear him in the background every so often. You might hear a mailman come to the door.
That's what happened in the last session. He would not stop barking.
Yeah, those and with so many online orders, I get packages throughout the day. So
Yes.
yes. All right. So just I'm wondering if, like, I have my screen on full view, so I can't create a poll, but I was just wondering if the folks that are with us here, if you're currently working in IT, working in cybersecurity, or you're just thinking about it and you're exploring what this looks like. I have to get out of my full screen. All right. Okay, and I can't see the chat screen. All right. So let's delve into what it's like to work in cybersecurity, and what are some of those skills that have helped you be successful in this field. So I'll direct that at Suri. What would you say it's like to work in cybersecurity, and some of the skills that have helped you be successful?
Yeah, so very nice question. So that is what we are here today. I know working in cybersecurity is little different than all other jobs. I hope you agree with me, because of the challenging nature, and we need to focus continuous learning throughout our career. Not like other jobs. So we have to be update each and every minute. Technology is evolving, and we have to be get ready with the prevention, mitigation plans, and get ready with the knowledge to handle the hackers. They are growing very faster day by day and harming information assets. We have to be vigilant always and update our skills to cope up with ever growing technology. This helps to identify and address new risks to protect organizational assets. And being a woman, being authentic is one of the biggest challenges in this current competitive world, right? Especially being a woman. We're always scared for others, and we are emotional, always ready to take new challenges, sacrifice, and take responsibility, and easily adjust for anything, right? In this process, most of the times we lost our authentic self and looking for others to validate. So with all these things, it is really challenging to stand unique in workplace, in cybersecurity especially. Maybe you feel bad, but this is the reality. We had to be, will when compared to the guys, we work more and we take more accountability and responsibility, and that becomes challenge for sometimes. So to face all these challenges, I believe we need to be very strong, very, very strong. First of all, we have to be take care of ourselves. When we are physically, mentally fit, we can handle any such kind of challenges. In my case, I migrated Canada in 2015. When I migrated, I had to left my job. I was working with Verizon before I migrated, but Verizon allowed me to work from home from Canada for a couple of months. I was doing that. During night I was working, and during the day I was searching for the jobs in local community. So that was couple of months, and luckily I got the offer within couple of months from Wipro Canada to manage ATCO cybersecurity team, ATCO project security assurance. So that was very, very, very challenging situation because I'm new to the country, new to the people, and new to the local laws about these utilities industry is also new to me. So a lot of unconscious bias about my language, accent, and color, how people will consider me. So because of all these unconscious bias and fears, I used to step back. I used to feel shy to raise my voice. I suppressed myself, even though I know the things I was scared to express that. And coming back to work, that is completely new and a lot of broken process. There is no such existing process in place to handle project security assurance. That was the situation. Because of my nature, like, I used to respect and accept the people and situations. So that helped me a lot to stand unique in this challenging environment. So because of my people relations, I accepted everything. Then I started thinking how I can improve the situation, how can I I'm able to success in my role. I was completely low in technical knowledge during that time about ATCO projects. I don't know anything much. So I just put a lot of efforts to understand their business and what is the security requirements and how I can improve my process, how to handle client and also Wipro. So all these things, because of the soft skills, I strongly believe that because of the people relations and the soft skills, being a woman, we can stand unique in this challenging field. This proved with me. I feel like this will help all of you to stand unique with your soft skills. Technical skills we always can learn and improve, but being responsible, being honest, ready to take the responsibility, accountability, willingness to learn. All these things are very important to be successful in this challenging
Mhm.
environment.
So you've embodied all of that. I heard, and I don't think you said it, but I heard tenacity.
Mhm.
You started, you said that you didn't know the ATCO processes very well, and how long have you been with ATCO now?
It's been 6 years, but I was working from Wipro, directly working from Wipro to ATCO for 5 years, and I lost my job just before the pandemic, and that opened the doors for many opportunities. Because of that, I'm here with the WiCyS Western Canada, and I also joined many other volunteer groups, and I got an opportunity to work for BMW suppliers auditors, and again I come back to ATCO. Now I'm directly working with ATCO. So
Wow.
everything happens for a reason, I believe.
When one door closes, as
Yes.
TJ was saying, you find a window.
Find the window.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you've had many good opportunities since then.
Yeah, I'm so lucky to be successful in this environment. Most of the times I'm successful because of the people around me. When I jumped from banking environment to cybersecurity in 2007, it was really, really challenging, but people believed my abilities. They gave me opportunity. That's why I'm able to, I mean, showcase, right? So
Hmm.
opportunity is very important. So because of that, we had to be networking, and that's why I'm encouraging all of you to join us to be in network. These references and the guidance helps a lot to get into the other opportunities.
Yeah. And I'm just going to follow that up with a question. You mentioned that you were given opportunities because they believed in your abilities. Were these opportunities given because they knew you, or it was a referral? Was it part of your network where these opportunities came from?
No, I can say that maybe the confidence and how we can showcase our abilities is very important. Not always the references can help. For example, when I joined Verizon, I just attended the job fair, just like a fun activity. I go and attended that, and in the first round itself, they selected me. I was just, I didn't even, I having the job, right? Comfortable banking job. It was white collar job in India. So I just attended. And in the first round, I developed the curiosity. And then I went on 3, 4 rounds. And the same day, they gave me the offer letter. When I see the offer letter, I felt like, okay, this will be my new opportunity. Everyone said that, why are you leaving secure banking job? This is, you never worked in IT security. So why are you moving there? But I felt like, okay, so this, I believe in myself. I thought like I can prove my abilities in anywhere. So that will be opportunity to prove my abilities and build my confidence, right? So initially it is really struggle and bumpy ride,
Mm-hmm.
but that gave me opportunity to learn new things, new challenges. And now I'm very confident, and I have so many extended family. Like I have banking extended family, and I have Verizon family and Adco family, Wipro family. These are all my extended family from my career. So I, though it is profession, but I really enjoyed because of the challenges and how I proved my abilities there. Helped me a lot to be happy and enjoy my career, I can say.
Mm, awesome. And the journey continues. All
Yep.
right, thank you. I'm going to flip to Artie. I'm going to ask, and I'm really curious. And we've known each other for a while. But I don't think I've ever asked you why you got into sales and in IT specifically. And so I want to know what it's like to work as a female, because there's not very many. A female salespeople in the cybersecurity tech space. So can you share with us what that's like and how you got into that field?
Absolutely. Yes, we've known each other for quite a while, actually. A few years. I can't remember when we first met. But it's just such a pleasure working with you, Mana, when you were at the other organization, and that we continued this partnership relationship. You know, as Shri had mentioned, this becomes family, right? And we're such a strong group of individuals. We've got a strong network, and here we are. We've all founded WiCyS Western Canada to make an impact, to make a change in our industry. And you're spot on that is sales. I'll tell you for sure, just like other individuals in cybersecurity, and just to add a little bit more to that is when individuals look at cybersecurity as a career, there's a lot that in cybersecurity, if you've got a finance background, you can get into finance and work for a cybersecurity company. There's sales, there's marketing, there's so many different positions within cybersecurity, including, a security specialist or a CISO or a CIO, whatever that role is. There's so many different roles. And Mana, as you had mentioned, I'm in sales, and I'd moved in 2005 to Canada, and at that time I just needed a job. So I was pretty much, like applying, and I wasn't getting anything because I think Shri, you and I have faced the same challenge whereby you don't know anybody, you don't have a network because you're new in the country. And you've got your bills to pay, right? And I think a lot of individuals can relate to the story. And somehow I managed to connect with a recruiter, and she was from UK as well, but she was working here. And she saw my resume. Somehow it just connected. She's from UK. I'm from UK. She reached out back to me, responding to my resume, and we had just in the beginning of our conversation. It was fabulous. It was fantastic. We connected instantly, and she told me about this position, and she said, "Hey, there's this there's this entry-level position. I know you'll have to take a step back in your career. If you're open to that, there is this immediate position that they're hiring for, and you can eventually work your way up. And I was like, just give me a job. I don't care what industry or anything. The bills are, going up, and I just need to get in and start making payments to my bills. And so she introduced me to an antivirus company, and that's how I entered into this into this field. And I still remember my interview process. It was a fantastic interview process. That manager was also from UK, so we connected straight away during the interview process. But when I looked at that and I looked at this industry, the only thing I knew, because I was financial economics, and I was working in a completely different field in the UK for an educational charity, and I had no idea about the technical side, because you still do need to understand. I didn't understand like a server. I didn't understand so many concepts just in this industry. What I did know was during my time in university, whereby I had a project and I had the square floppy disk, and that floppy disk got corrupted because I was doing the project at university, and the university library was corrupt, had an infection. And I remember several of us went to our professor asking for an extension. Mind you, I was glad I got that extension because I really needed more time anyways. But that's all I knew about this industry, is that at that time this is going to be a big problem. And a few years later, I joined in cybersecurity sales. So that's how I entered. I can't remember what your second part was. There a second part of the question?
Skills.
Oh, thank you.
The skills that you think are important to be successful in what you do.
Absolutely. Now, this is an interesting one, because when people talk about sales, the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, you've got to have the gift of the gab. Reality is, and this is where, Mana, I can relate to you when you mentioned you're an introvert. I too was an introvert. And a lot of individuals felt like, well, if you're an introvert, you'll never be successful in sales. And for me, it's not about being the person who talks the most. It's not about being that extrovert for sales. That's not what sales is about. The skills really are, we've got 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? Use it in that communication. Listening is so important, and understanding your customers. That to me is one of the biggest important skills, right? I know I didn't get opportunities because I failed a personality test in advancing my career within the organization, but that's okay, right? I managed to prove that to the hiring manager that you do not need to be an extrovert. You do not need to have the gift of the gab. The other one is curiosity. I think a few of us have talked about that. Even in the last session, we talked about curiosity. That's what it is. You're curious. You're getting curious further with understanding your customers, what their needs, what their pain points are. What are we trying to solve? How can we solve it together, right? It's all about curiosity. And by curiosity, you get to learn a lot more. The other skill, I would say, another skill would be negotiations. That is important too. And I think it's just not important only in sales, but I think in every role, negotiation skills are important. Next week, I'm doing a talk on negotiating what you're worth. But this is just an area whereby you can apply it in anywhere. You can apply it at home. You can apply it at the workplace. You can apply it anywhere. So negotiation skills for sure. What else? What other skills?
I'm going to jump in. My son, who's 11 years old, a negotiator. He's like, can I be a negotiator when I grow up? I'm like, yeah. But I said, you can use that in every aspect of your life.
Yeah. And that is a career too, right? To be a negotiator. Keep pushing. I'm definitely a big fan of that. And it's hard sometimes to negotiate for yourself. It's easy to negotiate for somebody else, but it's hard, especially when, as I'm preparing for the talk next week, and I look back and I asked, I did a survey, 60%, no, only 30% of individuals negotiated. when they got their offer. Only 30%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
30%?
Yeah, only
Okay.
30%. The others just accepted the offer without negotiations.
I can share my experience on that negotiation piece.
Yeah, go for
When
it.
as I mentioned, when I moved from Verizon to Wipro, I was a manager actually in Verizon. I was managing the 20 plus member of team members during that time. But I was continuously applying and keep on getting the interviews and failing. So in that process, I got this offer, Wipro offer. They said that I'm offering the senior cybersecurity specialist. I'm not able to offer manager. I said, okay, I don't mind about the role. I just mind about the work and the challenging nature of that work is important. And come back to the pay, they said very less during that time. But I strongly believe, based on my past experience, I thought like, okay, based on my abilities, I can grow automatically. My pay will grow. That's why I didn't even focus on negotiation during that time. But that's not the case here in Canada. I got a lot of awards and appreciations, but I never get, I mean, pay hike from last 5 years with Wipro. So negotiation is very important. You're right. We are supposed to negotiate in advance. That helps, right?
Yes, and Haima, you bring a very important topic there, which is fear of rejection and embarrassment. 100%, that was one of the reasons. I mean, I too, myself, when I came here, I did not negotiate. But there's a lot of tips and tricks that I'll be sharing next week. That I want to focus on WiCyS West Canada and the topic here. But there's a lot of tips and tricks that I'll be sharing at the security conference next week on Friday. I think it's on Thursday. On that, because fear definitely is one of those. And I think we've all been in that same spot. I was actually in that 60% who did not negotiate. So I can totally relate to that. So we're going to cover a little bit of how you can overcome fear and what are the tools you can use in order to help you negotiate what you're worth.
Yeah. I've been very, oops, let me just move my, that's a surprising stat for me, only because I've always, my first job, when I first landed at Bank of Montreal, my first job, I've negotiated that because I figure I'm going to be here for a number of years. I'm not guaranteed to get a raise. I'm not guaranteed anything. So what I set now, if I'm happy with it, I'll be happy. I'll not be ruminating about my salary, what I'm being paid. And it's worth a conversation. And I understand, like there are some techniques around how to negotiate that, and I can share a little bit about that when we get into what I'm going to be sharing about what I look for as a hiring manager, and some of that negotiation that comes with that interview or that initial process. And there's a little bit of finesse that happens, because I think the fear. I don't know if this is what you mean, Haima, about fear, but fear of, okay, I'm asking for too much and then I'm going to be rejected. So I would say there's a finesse and around negotiating what you would be able to land on as an initial salary. So why don't I get into what a hiring manager looks for? So in my role as a director of business development, we're a small company. We're a company of about 50. And so I'm involved in all of our hiring, so all of our interview processes. So when a job posting goes out, I review it, make sure it's good to go. When candidates come in, HR shortlists the candidates, and then does a 15-minute touch point with that candidate just get a sense of that person. And then once that person passes that gate, our HR person will schedule an interview. And before our interview, we'll have a 15-minute prep meeting for everybody on the interview panel. Oh, and we've shifted to running interview panels only because of the pandemic. It's easier just to get one slot with everybody that's going to be involved with hiring. So it'll be myself, my boss, and then the specific business unit managers and HR. And so that's set up as an hour session. We'll do introductions. We introduce ourselves. We have the candidate interview him or herself, and then I'll start with questions, And then we leave the last 10 or 15 minutes for the candidate to ask us questions. And then after that, we'll have a debrief. My team will have a debrief within the day, preferably within the day so we don't forget. But as I'm interviewing, the questions I ask, and what I'm reading is, it's not only skill set, like technical skills, but your soft skills. So first and foremost is your attitude. And is it a positive one? Is it a can-do attitude? Do you look like a person that you're curious? Like, it's huge. Being curious is such a huge, like top-notch skill set. Like if you're curious, you're going to keep digging. You're going to find the answer. That means you're resourceful. And so being a small company, the other thing too, I guess, if you're applying for a small company or a large company, this might swing either way. But for a small company, every person counts, right? So every person has to be able to find the answer, be able to stand on their own 2 feet in a way, be able to find the answer as much as possible. And then if not, then ask for help. Because we run so quickly, we need everybody to play their part. So attitude is first and foremost. If you've got a great attitude, positive attitude, can-do attitude, if you're curious, if you're resourceful, you can find the answers. So oftentimes if something's presented to me, I'll ask another question. Someone will come back with another answer. I ask another question. But if you can run through that little chain and find out all the answers because you've gone down the little rabbit hole to figure out, okay, this is possible, this is not possible, this is how much this is going to cost, this is what this is going to, this is what this other option is going to mean. If you can do all of that for me and present those options, and I can see that you've gone through this thinking process, this critical thinking process, that you've exhausted all resources, that is going to be really valuable to, I know, my team and the other teams within my organization. If you have an aptitude to learning and you're open to getting in the weeds and understanding a piece of technology that we support. So not only is it just the technical people that have an understanding for the software that we deploy and we configure, but if people on my team within business development, if they have the ability to understand the software that we're supporting, that we're deploying and supporting for customers, that really helps in like every aspect, right? So not only for marketing and presentations, marketing and the pre-sales side of things, but right through to project or service delivery, through to support and through to operations. So it's critical that even if you're in finance, that you have a little understanding of what we do, right? So that it makes sense when in finance we're billing someone and what are we billing for? So having some of that aptitude for learning is a great bone in your little quiver in your toolkit. And I would say that within an hour of the interview process, I try to decipher if you're going to be a valued member of our team, if you're going to be able to contribute, if even a positive attitude, like having a positive attitude is huge. Because things go sideways a lot, right? Things don't go as planned. And if you've got a great attitude and you're able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and just and be a cheerleader for the team, for, we're going to get through this, that has a huge that has huge weight in at least our organization. And I think a lot of organizations would probably value those same skill sets. So yeah, I would say a lot of that. And I mean, I didn't go into the communication, listening, writing skills, but of course those are all important. But I think first and foremost, if you have that, again, attitude, the right positive attitude, that will carry you a long, long way.
That's huge. Totally agree with you, Mano, on that one. Especially as you mentioned, attitude and aptitude to learn.
To the most important things. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And just to add on, this is a great opportunity with WiCyS Western Canada for those who are interested to join us. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for individuals to help participate. While we have a strong mission in place, this is where you can also learn and pick up some of these skills that Mana had mentioned that are important as you apply for your next job.
All right. So, why don't we open it up for any questions? You can write it in the chat if you like. Anything that you'd like to know from any of our experiences or anything about WiCyS Western Canada. I'll just give you a moment. I'm going to ask, while we're waiting for questions, going to ask Artie if you ever thought of leaving your field.
Changing or leave?
Of leaving the cybersecurity industry so many times. I felt like, oh my gosh, because it has been, as Shri had mentioned, a bumpy ride. But every bump, it actually motivates me more to stay on. And the reason is that just to make that change, right? Because if I leave, then the industry is going to continue on. And yes, we may just be one voice, 5 voices, 10 voices, but if we start seeing people leave, then we can't make change. So hang in there, stay in there is what I like to say. It is a bumpy ride, but join our mission, our combined missions, because we're here to make that change so that we can increase retention in our industry. How about you, Mana and Shri?
Exactly. I completely agree with you, Aarti, on that piece. Yeah. So, being a woman, I think most of the women like the challenges and changes, and we are very good in cope up with any kind of change. We'll make it success, right? Whatever is the situation or problem, we try to resolve it and wanted to see the success of it, positive side of it, right? So that's why I mean, I feel like women are the best in this resilient and challenging and most evolving cybersecurity field.
Yeah, for me, there have been times for sure. But I think having been being in this career for a while, shifting out would be, I think, well, actually, no, probably not. But I've enjoyed working with being able to start with an idea and then see how it changes and comes to life. So I would say at this point, no, I love the field. Yeah, I don't, and it's a field that I don't think will ever go away. So there's just gonna be more opportunities in this field. So I would say early on, I wasn't sure what was going on and I didn't know, but now that I've been in my career for a while, no, this is definitely the field with tons of opportunity, and it's a field that I'm trying to get my son into.
Oh, I totally agree on that. My niece, I've been telling her a lot about it, right? And oddly enough, she's like, I want to build a tracker so I can track mom and dad when they're about to come home. How do I build this, right? Can I be a hacker to do that? And I'm like, no. I start educating her about, because obviously you see a lot on TV, right? And educating her about the good and ethical hackers and the unethical hackers, right? But she's very curious and she seems to be interested in this, to your point. I'm like really trying to get her into this industry. And Mana, you're spot on there. Is there so many benefits in this industry? It's zero unemployment rate, no matter where you go, right? This is a big problem. Every company, it's not a matter of if, it's when they're going to be breached, right? And we need more people. Just earlier on, I was talking about, a 3.2 million shortage. We need
Yeah,
more people to join, and it's an exciting time to be here. Even as you mentioned earlier on, Mana, is that there's so much you can learn, right? Like just this morning, I had another talk on AI, not my field of expertise, but got to learn so much about it, right? So much about it. And I was like, gosh, I wish there was enough time in the day, but there isn't. It's
Yeah,
just fascinating.
that is one of another reason for WiCyS Western Canada, right? To encourage and motivate all of the younger generation into cybersecurity. So, and there is a lot of opportunity. I mean, lot of demand for this because we have to ensure security of the organizational assets, information assets, confidentiality, integrity, availability. So the current strength is not enough. That's why even HIMA is part of that safe and secure online program. We are all doing that to encourage younger generations into be more secure and safe, and they also can learn and motivate to get to this field. That is the Haima is doing great job in this way, and she got recognized by ISS Square Alberta chapter. I mean, not all Alberta chapter, ISS Square recognized, and she got the award last year, right?
Mhm.
So many people, not only we, the names are different, and most of us are here to motivate. Our main objective is to encourage and motivate and recommend the people into cybersecurity. So yeah, we are all here. The motive is that maybe we are doing differently, but that is the objective.
There's a question in there, from Haima. How do you manage your time between your job, volunteering, and mentoring?
Good question.
That's a good question.
Haima knows very well about that. She's also doing that multitasking. She and
Mhm.
me are teaching in Telugu school together every Saturdays, and we are also volunteering in that safe and secure online program. And especially Haima is managing young child. Actually, I think he's 7 or 8 years old now.
That's awesome.
And also managing the job, and she's the top in that job. Haima, you are the best person to answer this question, how you are managing.
Maybe you can share some of your strategies with us.
I see her answer already on the chat. Yes, it's tough, but you know what? At the end of the day, do what you can and what you can manage, right? And there's a lot of joy in what we do outside of work, right? That keeps us going. And I get excited about this. I get excited about mentoring and being mentored too, because even when I'm mentoring somebody, I'm learning from them. So there's several different ways you can learn from each other.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's one of those things that, especially even volunteering,
yeah.
helping others, right?
Yeah, that's what I feel actually. Most of the time, my husband always complains how you manage. Actually, you're always busy with different things. But this is stress, but still, I feel like happy when I help somebody, when I do something different, and I'm able to, add some value to anyone. So that will give lot of positive energy back to us, right? That give the encouragement. So I feel like while helping others, I am gaining a lot from there. This positive energy and happiness,
Yeah.
satisfaction. These are all benefits that will boost our energy to do many more things.
Yeah, and I think that's it. If you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like a lot of
Yeah,
energy spent. There is definitely still the real logistical application of making sure that your kid gets fed, the dog is walked, making sure that things are organized for events, and you're still on top of your job. So yeah, I think there's something I use is, okay, what's important right now? Okay, the dog needs to be walked right now. That's what I'm gonna do. But then yeah, so I think it's just how maybe we as women just manage our households and our careers
yeah.
probably
It's
is
natural
probably just part of our
ability.
DNA.
Yeah, it's our natural ability.
At the same time, we also should learn to say no when it's too much, right? So
Yeah,
that's definitely
absolutely.
another important skill,
We
right?
need to learn that.
Exactly. I'm going to bring a special guest. Give me a second. Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's time to leave, right? 3:58.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Haima, being with us.
It was nice meeting you, Haima.
She's going to be our new member soon, I guess.
Okay.
I'm expecting, I'm poking her from last 1.5 years to join us. Hi.
Oh, hello.
That is my Simba.
He's so cute. So cute. He's so fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
So
when the
welcome to the-
doorbell rang last time, that was Simba barking away.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the cameo, Simba.
Right?
Cameo right at the end. All right, so let's wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining us here today. We appreciate your time and hope you enjoy the rest of WiCyS Calgary. And don't forget to check out WiCyS Western Canada on LinkedIn. We've posted the link in the chat above. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All
Have a great
happy
Bye.
weekend.
Friday, all of you. Bye.